Let's go for a hike. Let's climb the mountain. On your mark, get set. We're ready to go.
Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro.
Hi guys, welcome. I'm so excited that you're joining us for VBS. It's online. Things are a little different. They're going to look a little different, but we're going to have so much fun, and I am so glad that you've joined us. My name is Miss Casey. I'm the Children's Director here at First Baptist Church in Fort Walton Beach. We are here at Mount Kilimanjaro, and it is in Africa. It is the highest point in Africa. The climate here is extreme. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to be exploring the book of Proverbs. There's a lot of wisdom. We're going to be learning, though, that the true wisdom comes from God. So, wisdom equals hearing and doing. And our verse this week is, "But be doers of the word and not hearers only." James 1:22. So, wisdom equals hearing and doing. So, at this week, as you are exploring with us and trekking through Mount Kilimanjaro, keep this in mind, and I'm so excited to explore this wild and crazy adventure with you. Thanks, and have a great week.
Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro.
Get ready for adventure. Excitement is at hand. We're going on safari to a wild and distant land.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
From the plains of Serengeti to the jungles deep within, and to the highest mountaintop, our journey now begins.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
We'll sing the songs of Africa and join its mighty chorus. Gain wisdom from the words of life that God has laid before us. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
And on this trek we'll learn the path God says is best to take. For dangers lurk along the way, and choices we must make.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
The followers of Solomon, the wisest in the land. And through his words we'll learn to live the way that God has planned. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
With ears to hear the Lord and hearts that trust God's perfect ways. Let us walk in wisdom as we trek through life each day. With ears to hear the Lord and hearts that trust God's perfect ways. Let us walk in wisdom as we trek through life each day. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro.
Welcome. I'm Miss Casey, the Children's Director here at First Baptist. Thank you for joining us. We are here at Mount Kilimanjaro. This is the highest the highest point in Africa. Thanks for coming here, and for this online VBS, things are a little different. Every day you will have a different person teaching you the word. We all are a little different. We'll be teaching a little different, but you're going to be learning something fun and cool every day. So thanks for joining us. So Jumbo is hello here, and in Swahili that means hello. So that's the main language that they speak here in Africa. So whenever we greet you, we will say Jumbo. Everyone join me and say Jumbo. Great job, guys. Okay, so I'm going to be one of your expedition guides right now, teaching you this lesson. And I want to tell you a little bit about this mountain here behind me, Mount Kilimanjaro. It is, as I said before, the highest point in Africa. And at the bottom, it's really, really hot. It's 100 degrees. That can get pretty warm and you could get exhausted. And as you get a little bit into the higher areas, you can enter into some rainforests. And the climate's a little bit milder, and they call it the heather and moorland. But then as you get a little bit higher, it gets a little bit colder. And they have a lot of extreme temperatures. So at the bottom, it was 100 degrees. So when you get up to the top, though, it gets as cold as 0 degrees. So you're definitely going to need a jacket with you when you get up to the top. So there's a lot of extreme temperatures and extreme climates here. And we're going to be learning some more about the weather and a lot of the things that go on here in this area. But this is one of the most extreme spots in the world, and there's a lot of really cool animals and activities that happen here. And one of the animal pals that I have with me today is Timbo. And Timbo means elephant in Swahili. So he's going to be joining me today, and that's why I have him here beside me. So before we get started today, I have a few sounds that I'm going to play. And when I play them, I want you to try and guess what that sound is. So I'll play the first sound, and then you try and guess what that sound is, and then I'll tell you what it is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play the first sound, and then you guess what you think. All right. Were you listening carefully? So what sound do you think that was? Well, if you guessed lion, then you're correct. Do you know that a lion's roar can be heard for up to 4 miles? That's pretty loud. That sounds really, really loud. 4 miles, wow. Okay, so we're going to now hear our second sound. Well, it's definitely an instrument. Those were some drums that were beating. They were playing in the area of where we're going to be visiting. So that was nice music. All right, can we play our third sound?
Jumbo, habari yako.
That was someone speaking Swahili. And if you were listening earlier, I told you that jumbo means hello in Swahili. All right, now for our fourth sound. Were you listening carefully? Well, that was the sound of an elephant. Just like my friend here, that's the sound that an elephant makes. And they are actually the largest land animal in Africa. All right, let's listen to our next sound, the fifth sound. That one was a little tricky. That is actually the bray of a zebra. And did you know that zebras live freely only in the savanna of Africa? All right, let's listen to our sixth and final sound. Okay, that one can be a little tricky too, but that's actually the sound of a waterfall. And that one can be heard at the base of the mountain where the rainforest is. So there's a lot of sounds to be heard in Mount Kilimanjaro. But good job, trekkers. I am sure that you did great with those sounds, and we're excited to get started now with our lesson for today. So I'm going to have Timbo here with me, and he is going to help me with our Bible lesson today as I get started. Okay, guys, so if you have your Bibles, open them up to Proverbs 19:20, and that's our verse for today. Listen to counsel, that you may be wise. So we need to make sure that we're listening to the adults and the people that God has given us to help us make wise choices. And today our animal pal Timbo helps us to remember that because his big ears help us to remember to listen. Can anyone think of why God gave him really big ears? Well, there's a few reasons. One is because he can flap them like this and cool himself off. And also he can help keep the bugs and other things away from him when he flaps them. And also they're really big and they can release heat off because if you remember, it's really, really hot down at the bottom towards the bottom of the mountain, and he can release heat off of his ears. So he helps us remember that we need to listen, and we need to listen to the wisdom that's in the Bible. So we're going to go to our Bible today and read our lesson. So go ahead and grab out your Bibles, and I will tell you exactly where we're going to be reading it from. This is 1 Kings 3, 1 through 15. Okay, our Bible account will come from 1 Kings chapters 3 and 4. About 1,000 years ago, before Jesus came to earth, a young man named Solomon became king of the nation called Israel. The Israelites were the descendants of a man named Abraham and lived in the country that we call Israel. Solomon was the son of David, who was the second king of Israel. When King David died, Solomon became the king. Once Solomon loved the Lord, he listened to and did what God commanded. Now Solomon went to a place called Gibeon to give offerings to God. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. God said to him in the dream, "Ask, what shall I give you?" Wow, what kind of a question was that? Can you imagine? Right now, just stop and think. What if God asked you, "Ask me, and I'll give you what you want"? What would you answer? So, here's what Solomon said, though, to the question that God proposed. "O Lord, you have made me king, but I am a little child." Okay, so actually he was probably about 20, but he said that because he knew he was young and he was kind of inexperienced. "I'm in the midst of a great number of people, therefore I will ask for. I ask for a wise and understanding heart, so I can judge wisely and know the difference between good and evil." So, according to the Bible, this speech pleased the Lord. So God said to him, "Well, you haven't asked for a long life for yourself, and you haven't asked for riches for yourself, and you haven't asked for the life of your enemies. Because you haven't asked for these, I'm giving you a wise and understanding heart, so that there hasn't been anyone like you before, or will there be anyone after. And I'm also giving you what you didn't ask for, riches and honor. And if you walk in my ways and keep my commandments, then you will also have a long life." Then King Solomon awoke. So that is a really cool story. So he asked for a wise and understanding heart. He did not ask for a bunch of riches. He didn't ask for long life. He didn't ask for his enemies to be destroyed. He asked for a wise and understanding heart. So what we can take from this story is we can stop and ask ourselves, if God asked us for whatever we wanted, what would we ask for? And we need to really think about that. And we can read this and take to heart if our priorities are straight and if we are asking God for the things that are wise to ask for. So thank you guys for listening to this story. Thank you for using your ears and listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And tomorrow we will be back. And I hope that you did great in our game before where you had to listen to the sounds. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Kilimanjaro, Camp Kilimanjaro.
Okay, first you're going to be getting a prayer journal, and we'd like for you to just color it, make it decorative, and make it just especially yours. You write your name on it, and every day during the week you will be filling out your journal It asks for today's Bible verse, and you are to write down something that you're grateful for. Tell about a special prayer you made for someone. And since we're talking about wisdom this week, you must be wise to make wise choices. And so maybe you can write something about that in your journal. But that's to be written in every day. For the first craft is going to be an African collar or African necklace, however you want to put it. It'll look something like this, but you're going to decorate it to make it yours only. So I've got Elise here to help, and Elise is going to finish this particular one. I went ahead and colored it. You can see the two different colors I used, but you use anything you want to use. So Elise, if you wouldn't mind finish cutting this out. And be sure you use the back of the paper plate that you'll receive, because if you put it on the front, then the collar doesn't lay down correctly. And as Elise is cutting that out, if you notice, I colored it first before I cut out the circle, because that way you can kind of make a sloppy coloring, and then the circle cuts it all out. Okay? See, that's the leftover corn. You will also receive some of these gemstones, and Elise is going to decorate her collar with some gemstones. If you were here last year, we used gemstones for different crafts, and when I turned around, everybody had gemstones on their ears. Do you remember that? Did you see that? Somebody had gemstones on their forehead. But these are your gemstones to use however you want. And they're really easy to use. Are you making a pattern or just put down anything?
I'm just putting down anything.
Okay. Just wondered. I always like to see how your mind works. Cool. You gonna put it on? Try it.
Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro.
Would you look at that? My. I never done seen anything like it. Wow. My goodness. Amazing. Welcome, trucker. Welcome, trekkers. Welcome, trekkers? Welcome, Trucker.
Oh, hello. May I help you?
Yes. I mean, no. Well, I was just noticing the misspelling on your sign.
Misspelling?
Yes. You spelled truckers wrong.
Truckers?
Yes, and I ought to know. My dad drove a truck for 42 years. Yeah, I miss those days. He used to let me talk on his CB radio. Well, he didn't exactly let me. I did it when he wasn't around. Breaker, 1-9. You got your ears on? That's a Big 10-4, good buddy. Pretty good, huh?
And you are?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, what was the question?
I was asking who you are.
Who you are? Well, I have no idea who you are. You haven't introduced yourself yet. But my name is Hank Ranger. I'm the new Hank Park, the new Kendall Ranger. Oh, that's not it either. I'm Hank Kendall, the new Park Ranger. There, that's better.
So nice to meet you. Mr. Kendall, is it?
That's right, Kendall, spelled Kendall. Always have been a good speller. Well, not always. In third grade, I misspelled the word antediluvian. I used an I instead of an E. Can you believe that? Still torments me to this day. Well, it actually doesn't torment me. It's more like a minor irritation.
Mr. Kendall, about our banner, it's actually not a misspelling. It's supposed to say trekkers because that's what people who come to Mount Kilimanjaro do. They trek up the mountain.
Oh. Well, I guess it's my mistake then.
Was there a reason you came by, Mr. Kendall?
A reason? Oh, yeah, I'm sure there was. You know, I still think truckers would have been much better. Well, maybe not much better. Have a good day.
You too.
Who was that?
Oh, just the new Kendall Ranger.
What?
I mean, the new park ranger.
Park ranger? What did he want?
Your guess is as good as mine. I can't wait for you to meet him, though.
Really? Well, it'll have to wait. Our guests have landed and they're on their way.
Oh, good. Well, everything should be ready. Any update on our monkey problem?
Oh, actually, yes. Joseph just informed me that he finally caught the little rascal, so hopefully our problem should be over.
Oh, good. And not a moment too soon with the new group coming in. Man, I am really looking forward to this one.
I know. It should be interesting. A TV news team all the way from Ohio to climb Mount Kilimanjaro for charity.
Imagine coming all this way to raise money for Children's Hospital. I mean, that's why I love this place. It really brings out the best in people.
Yes. And it's so good to see them doing things for others. But then again, I'm reminded that a person's best is still not good enough to get them to heaven. They still need the gospel, and they need it desperately.
True.
Hey, that reminds me. Let me show you something that just came in this morning.
Okay.
It's a little book of Proverbs. We're going to put them on all the nightstands.
That is a great idea. I love the book of Proverbs. Oh, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Oh, I love that. Or this one. Listen to counsel and receive instruction that you may be wise. If only more people would do that.
And you know what else the book of Proverbs says about wisdom? That happy is the man who finds it, that it's far more precious than silver or gold, and that nothing you could ever want could compare with it.
Wow, that's quite an endorsement. I'm going to put them out right away.
Oh, wait, I think our guests have just arrived. We'll take care of that later.
Weren't there supposed to be 4?
This is incredible.
You're right. Must have been a last-minute change.
Wow.
Just wait till the viewers see this. Our ratings are going to be as high as that mountain.
Yeah. Eat your heart out, Channel 5.
This sure is a beautiful place you have here.
Why, thank you, and welcome to Camp Kilimanjaro. We're so glad you've chosen to stay with us. I'm Mike Harper, and this is Terry Underwood.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jessie Crew.
And I'm Storm Weathers.
Storm Weathers? Let me see. The weatherman?
Yep, and that's Snow Joke. Get it? Snow Joke.
Please don't laugh. It will only encourage him.
Now that's what I call a storm warning. Get it? Storm warning.
See what I mean?
Hey, what can I say? I'm just a walking joke factory. And weather puns, well, they're really a breeze.
Hey, Storm, here's one for you. Why couldn't the weatherman talk?
Because he had a fog in his throat?
No, because the sportscaster taped his mouth shut.
That wasn't funny.
Rob Henshaw, Channel 9 Sports.
Hey, Rob.
So nice to meet you.
Hey, why'd the sportscaster cross the road?
Would you cut it out? We've been here 5 minutes and you're already driving everyone crazy.
I'm not.
Oh, look, it's tea time. I'm going to check on the tea.
So, where's Catherine hiding?
Catherine?
Yeah, Catherine Kent. She's the fourth person in our group. She's here, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you would know if she was. Believe me.
She took a different flight, which ended in Nairobi, but her taxi should have been here a long time ago.
Well, do you know what taxi service she was using?
No idea.
Okay, well, I'll call the airport. Maybe her flight was delayed. Do you know what airline she was flying?
Don't know that either.
Wow. We're looking really sharp, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to call the station on that one.
What was that?
An elephant, and it sounds awfully close.
Oh, cool! I want to see it!
Me too.
Who is that?
Is it Catherine?
There is a resemblance.
Well, are you just gonna stand there, or is somebody gonna come and get my suitcases?
Yep, that's Catherine, all right.
Where have you been?
Oh, jeez, what do you got in these things, Catherine?
This is heavy.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Camp Kilimanjaro.
Thanks. I'm just so delighted to be here. Can't you tell?
What happened to you?
Oh, nothing. My brilliant taxi driver just decided to take a shortcut, and then the car broke down in the middle of nowhere. That's all. Why do you ask?
How did you get here?
Oh, guess.
Oh, I'm sure I have no idea.
On the back of a dirty, filthy, stinky, hot elephant for the last 3.5 hours.
Did you hear that? She got the ride on an elephant. Which, of course, is absolutely dreadful. How did you ever survive?
I have no idea. I'll probably be scarred for life. Oh, and worst of all, my favorite pink shoes are ruined.
But,
Well, look on the bright side, Catherine. At least you have a replacement. Or 20?
Well, that shows what you know about women's shoes. Nothing can replace a pair of Rocavillas.
May we show you to your room?
Yes. And I'd appreciate not being disturbed. So no photos, no autographs, and no interviews. As you can see, I just need a little me time right now.
Well, we'll be sure to leave you alone.
I will be needing room service, however.
Well, it will be our pleasure to serve you. Please follow me.
This has been the worst day of my life.
Well, I think she's really going to like it here, don't you?
Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro.
Well, hello, how are you doing? My name's Joshua Manning, and I'm the Missions and Discipleship Pastor here at First Baptist Church, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. It's good to see you today, and we're going to have a couple throughout the week called Missions Moments. And what I want to talk to you about is what is a missionary and what do they do? Now, some people say we're all missionaries, and in a sense, they're right. Every Christian needs to carry the message of Jesus and teach it to other people. But a missionary, when we talk about it, is something different. That's somebody who goes to like a different culture, a different country, or a different part of even their own country and tells people about Jesus. They cross a cultural barrier when they do that. So just real quick, we're going to talk today about one of the things a missionary does. Now, a missionary carries God's Word, the Bible, and teaches it to someone else who may not know it. And oftentimes that involves learning a different language. So let me give you a little game to play. And what this game is going to show you is how difficult it can be to learn someone else's language. So maybe you're watching this and you're watching it with your parents, or watching it with a babysitter, or watching it with your brothers and sisters, or whoever else is in the room, and everyone can participate in this, I want you to take a few minutes and I want you to invent your own language. But I only want you to make 3 words. First, I want you to make the word for I or me. You can make up something really silly like you could say that the word for I is like boop. Or you can make a very difficult long word like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And that's going to be your secret word. Don't tell anyone else. Your secret word for me or I. The second word I want you to make is the word you feel when you are hungry. When your stomach starts to rumble, whenever it starts to shrink and you start saying, oh, I am really hungry. So the word for I or me, the word for hungry, and third, don't tell anyone else this yet now. I want you to make the word up for something from the kitchen you want to eat. It could be healthy, it could be unhealthy, it could be candy, it could be cooking oil, but something that you want. And keep it to yourself, make it a secret of what that object is, but I want you to write down or say those 3 words to the person by you. And I want them to start asking you questions and trying to figure out what that word means. So you might have in your mind gummy bears. And if you call it something really weird, they have to try to figure out that word. So take a few minutes, pause the video, and try to figure out with the other people in the room what this thing is that they want, what this item is that they're hungry for. And then whenever you pause it and try to figure it out, only take about 2 minutes. If you can't figure it out, tell the other person, come back to me and we'll talk. Well, now that you have either gotten frustrated learning a new language or you figured it out pretty quickly because it was something like Ritza poles for pizza rolls, now you know how difficult it is to learn a different language. But that's one of the things that missionaries do, is they learn a different language. They will study for years sometimes learning a different language. My wife speaks a different language, and it's taken me over 10 years, and I still cannot say very much in it. It's a very difficult language. Some missionaries, like I said, will work for years doing this, but that's part of what missionaries do, is they learn other people's language so they can share the wonderful things that God has done in that language. I hope you have a good day in Bible school. I hope that you're able to get the snack you were so hungry for when you invented your language, and we'll see you soon.
Kilimanjaro, Camp Kilimanjaro.
Jumbo, and welcome to music at Camp Kilimanjaro. My name is Miss Amy, and each day you'll get to join me and learn a fun vacation Bible school song. Today we're going to learn the theme song, and it's called Camp Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro is the tallest mountain in Africa. So in our song today, often we'll make a mountain with our hands when talking about it. And Mount Kilimanjaro is actually a volcano. Thankfully, it's sleeping right now, though. So let's go ahead. I'm going to walk you through the words and the motions and teach that to you. And then I have some of my helpers here, and we'll sing the song with the music. So Camp Kilimanjaro is going to start. We're going to be rolling to your left and then to your right and saying Camp Kilimanjaro. Then the first verse is, get ready for adventure, excitement is at hand. We're going on safari to a wild and distant land. And then we'll say, Camp Kilimanjaro. And we'll do that rolling motion. Then the next verse says, from the plains of Serengeti to the jungles deep within, and to the highest mountaintop, our journey now begins at Camp Kilimanjaro. And we'll do that roll. We'll sing the songs of Africa and join its mighty chorus. Gain wisdom from the words of life that God has laid before us. Then we're going to go into the chorus, and the chorus will say, Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. And then we're going to say Camp Kilimanjaro and just do that roll one time each side. And we'll say it again, Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. to Camp Kilimanjaro. And then we'll roll again with Camp Kilimanjaro. And then we're going to walk this way to your left and we'll say, and on this trek we'll learn the path God says is best to take, for dangers lurk along the way and choices we must make at Camp Kilimanjaro. And then we're going to walk the other way and say, we'll follow the words of Solomon, the wisest in the land, and through his words we'll learn to live the way that God has planned. Then we're going to go back into the chorus. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. To Camp Kilimanjaro. Then we're going to have a little bridge, and with that we're just going to snap. And if you can't snap, it's okay. We're just going to move our hands like this. And 2 times through, we're going to say, with ears to hear the Lord and hearts to trust God's perfect ways, let us walk in wisdom as we trek through life each day. And then we'll repeat that again. With ears to hear the Lord and hearts to trust God's perfect ways, let us walk in wisdom as we trek through life each day. And then we'll go into the chorus for the final time. That Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. And we're going to repeat just Kilimanjaro 2 more times. Camp Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro. And we're going to come to that mountain. We're going to hold the mountain. And then the song will be over. See, lots of fun and easy. Now I'm going to get some of my kid helpers up here, and we'll sing it together with the music.
Kilimanjaro, Camp Kilimanjaro.
Get ready for adventure, excitement is at hand. We're going on safari to a wild and distant land.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
Of Serengeti to the jungles deep within, and to the highest mountaintop, our journey now begins.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
We'll sing the songs of Africa and join its mighty chorus, gain wisdom from the words of life that God has laid before us. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
And on this trek we'll learn the path God says is best to take. For dangers lurk along the way and choices we must make.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
We'll follow words of Solomon, the wisest in the land. And through his words we'll learn to live the way that God has planned. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
With ears to hear the Lord and hearts that trust God's perfect ways, let us walk in wisdom as we trek through life each day. With ears to hear the Lord and hearts that trust God's perfect ways, let us walk in wisdom as we trek through life each day. Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro.
Camp Kilimanjaro.
Jumbo, let's go to Camp Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro. Camp Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro.